Welcome to Scaling Up Insights. I'm Certified Scaling Up Coach Rick Crossland. We're doing the Insight series to really give business owners and their teams the deep insights into the richness and all the great things that Scaling Up, the world-famous business growth platform, can do for your business. Today we're going to cover what are the key tools in Scaling Up, and there's many. So since there's many, let me break them into 4 categories: people, strategy, execution, and cash, the 4 major areas of scaling up. Let's start first with the people tools. Well, first of all, we want to get to over 90% A players in your business. How do we do that? Through the top grading interview methodology. And top grading can be used for both external candidates as well as internal candidates. Not a lot of people realize that as you're promoting people, you can actually top grade them as well. So again, the goal is greater than 90% A players. We look at that with the talent assessment matrix, which we conduct quarterly with our teams to look at, who are your high performers, who's your cultural fit. Those people at the apex of both would be your A players. Your A potentials would be right there next to them, the up-and-comers in the organizations, and there's kind of everybody else, the B's and C's. So that's your talent assessment matrix, which we do our assessment reviews with. We have a great tool called the Function Accountability Chart, also known as FACE, its acronym, which really defines the functions and the key accountabilities in the organization. And then its sister tool, the PACE, which outlines those 4 to 9 key processes in your business that make you money. And those two work great in conjunction to really make sure you have the right people executing the right things in your business. Let's move on to the strategy tool. Well, any discussion of scaling up in strategy would have to include our famous one-page strategic plan, which gets everybody on the same page in your organization. And I mean, you could use the one-page strategic plan if you're a billion-dollar company. So it works for companies of all sizes. Really getting alignment. You can check that by asking everybody, what is the strategy? And you might find that your team has divergent views on the strategy. So this gets everybody on the one page, and imagine the power of that. And then we have a great strategic tool called the 7 Strata strategy that looks at 7 key strategic elements that are all interwoven. Many of those elements go to the front of the one-page strategic plan to give you that differentiated strategy. Now let's move on to execution. Well, there we have the famous Rockefeller Habits Checklist, 10 major areas to evaluate your business on with 4 subsegments each. So for a total of 40 execution strategies that will improve the execution and the continuous improvement in your business to eliminate mistakes, drive profitability to the bottom line. In addition to that, we're working on a meeting cadence that starts with chasing the BHAG in your annual meetings, going to a quarterly strategic meeting with your team, with the monthly management meeting to check that making sure those strategies set at your quarterly are done, weekly to drill in specifically to execution. And then unique to scaling up is the daily huddle, which saves you over 10% of your time by doing everything in your huddle. So each day, your information cascades throughout your organization. Through all this, by the way, we have our company priorities, also known as ROCs. We have our functional priorities, and then we have individual priorities. And we track those all with specific software. Scaling Up Scoreboard is our proprietary software to just encapsulate all the tools I just mentioned. And then let's go to cash. And this is an area that Scaling Up really excels, as we do in the other areas. We have a cash acceleration tool. We have a Scaling Up cash tool, also known as Cash Flow Story, which models your cash and your profitability and actually the valuation in your business. And then finally, we have labor efficiency ratios, which show you what a dollar of labor produces in terms of gross margin. So the use of all these tools together drives a differentiated strategy in your business, driven by a high percentage of A players who are executing well, and then we're measuring and coming up with strategies to improve the cash flow and the profitability, and ultimately the valuation in your business. Now, it's important to remember, we're not just growing bigger, we're growing better. These tools are accessible to you. We'd love to share them with you. So if you have any questions at all about the Scaling Up tools or methodology, please reach out. We're here to help. Again, I'm Rick Crossland with Scaling Up Insights.